when I think about ambitious women and high performers, most of the time we know what we want, we know our dreams, we're not confused. And a lot of times you hear things about, like, oh, just get clear on your vision and write the goals down and create the thing and do the stuff. But I'm realizing the biggest hindrance is the momentum and the taking of the action to actually make these things happen and come into fruition. And to be able to have the capacity to be able to hold all of the things that are meant to be a part of your life. With this 10, 20 to 30 year aspect, I've also learned that a lot of women have this tendency, or a lot of ambitious women and female leaders, high achievers, have this tendency of, whoa, sorry, there's an acacia tree right outside of me, and I just wasn't expecting to see that. It looks really cool. Anyways, so there's this tendency of, oh, but I just need to do something new, or I just need to start something else, or I just need to like hustle more and add more energy into what I'm doing. And I just. And honestly, you really need to slow down and assess, right? Slow down. And when I mean slow down, that doesn't mean don't be a high achiever and a high performer. But if you're cycling and you're doing the same thing over and over again, that is an issue. That is hindering you from showing up in the way that you need to. That is hindering you from being the person that you're called to be. You're not looking at what needs to shift, and then you can't like pause and set boundaries or implement and pivot to show up harder and stronger and faster in your calling and in your performance and from a regulated state. So the question is, how do you start actually doing this? And the way that you do it is by assessing. So you go ahead and either take a journal or notice what your patterns are throughout the day and just start writing them down. Notice, like, what do I do in the morning? What do I do in the evening? What do I do at night? What things are distracting me? What things do I feel energized with? What things are draining me? Like, assess certain things, and then also notice, like, where am I caving in a lot that is not helping me get to certain goals? And then, so that's one, because in order to sustain anything, you're going to just need to have energy. Even if it's sustaining what you have now, you still need the momentum to do it. And then the second part is really knowing, like, which one or two goals do I want to focus on? Because if you start thinking about all the 50, 100, 150,000 goals that you got to do, you might not end up actually doing it because you just keep being like, I'm not succeeding or completing the whole thing, right? You start something, but finishing it is challenging. And there's going to be obstacles that come up. And so you need that energy and that momentum to get through the obstacles to get to the end of the goal. Because the whole aspect is you are supposed to be experiencing the journey of what it is that you're doing and what it is that you're experiencing. So because the whole aspect is to be on the journey, you also want to understand what that journey is. So pick one or two major goals that you want to hit, that you've been stuck on for 10, 20, 30 years. These are the people that I'm talking to. I'm not talking to just anybody who is like doing the thing and doing whatever. Like, I'm talking to doing the thing and doing whatever. I'm not talking about like any like new goals that you're actually wanting to birth. Like, I'm talking about like goals that you have been sitting on, acting like they're actually gonna like show up for you without you putting any effort or energy into it. And it's like, no, you gotta take the time to give it a seat at the table, to honor it, to act like it exists. Because right now you're avoiding it. Like I said in this one reel that I did, you're treating it like a situationship instead of committing to your one or two goals that you're wanting to bring to life. And instead of like really believing in yourself with that, you try and go ham on all these other things. You're like, and it's distracting other people and it's distracting you. Even though like your soul knows and God knows, like, hey, you know that's not necessarily it. That's not your gift, or that's not the thing. But I'm talking about these heavy hitter 1 or 2 goals. Focus on that. And then you'll be able to expand your capacity to reach more. Because I know we usually have a lot of goals and a lot of things that we want to do. But if you go ham for me, I'm realizing I can get y'all there in 6 months or less. Like something that you've been sitting on for 10, 20, 30 years, it's not that hard to clean that ish up. It's not that hard because you've already done all the work. You already know what you want. You already studied the people that are doing the craft. You already have done the things. You know what I'm saying? Now it's just how can we bring this into your physical reality, in your physical realm? How can we clear up all the extra noise and have you show up in this identity, in this version of yourself in real life? How can you do that? By assessing what you're doing and then picking 1 or 2 goals, okay? Picking 1 or 2 goals and then sitting with those 1 or 2 goals, slowing down, just allowing your life to be what it is. We're not shifting and changing things at the beginning. You start shifting and changing things at the beginning and your body's just gonna be like, okay, we're just doing what we've been doing, which we've just been busy and we've been hustling and we've been going, instead of like, okay, let me sit with this. Let me acknowledge the past self. Let me acknowledge the person that I'm assessing. And then let me sit with this idea of me actually bringing this goal from 10, 20, 30 years to life, to impact. Like, let me sit with it. And then you start implementing it. And you'll notice that the implementation aspect of having the energy and momentum, the natural energy and momentum will come from the 1 or 2 goals being hit. Like you'll have the energy for it because it's your gift and it's naturally happening, right? And you're naturally a high achiever and ambitious woman. So that's going to naturally happen. But the sitting and the listening and the assessing, that's the most challenging part because you're going to have to really sit your down. You're going to have to really pause. Okay? And so I want to give you this. If you have been sitting on a goal for 10, 20, 30 years, why are we still sitting on it when you could get some help? You can listen to the YouTube videos. You can listen to the content. You can, I have a podcast coming out. You can do all the things. But the thing is, if you don't focus on the fact that this is not going away, because if it hasn't gone away for 10, 20, 30 years, it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. So why don't we just clean it up and let it show up in real life? Clean it up and let it show up in real life. Yeah, so if you are interested, if you feel called, I have my Panthera EQ sales call where we dive deeper into focusing on what are the 1 or 2 goals that you want? What are the things that are potentially kind of holding you back and stopping you from putting that energy into it? And then, how you can work with me in my 6-month Panthera EQ immersion where we can just clear that up and get you rolling in 6 months or less. This 10, 20, 30-year goal can literally be hit in 6 months or less because it's already there, because you've already done all the other work. You just have not finished. You know how you have starters and then you have finishers? Right now, you're like a middler. You've started and you've done all this extra work, all this extra nitty-gritty work, and then you haven't finished. And you keep thinking in your head, oh, but I can't do it. No, you literally just, with the 80-20 rule, you had this is the 10%. This is the last leg. You've done 90% of the work already. You just got to finish the 10% to get to the other side. So I'm so grateful for y'all. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.